Running a bin store is really hard.
Cut! Perfect. That's perfect. Just literally ended on that. YouTube, what's up? This is Damien from the Nice Fine YouTube channel, and today we are here with the one and only Lindey Glenn from Bullseye Bins, from Derby, Kansas, from this beautiful bin store that she owns in Kansas. Lindey, hello, welcome to the channel.
Hi, thanks for coming to visit me.
Of course, thanks for having us. This is so exciting, guys. This is our first YouTube star appearance, and I am excited. She has a great YouTube channel. If you guys didn't check it out yet, please do. What is it?
Lindey Glenn.
It'll be linked down below or right there. Lindey, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about Bullseye Bins. How'd you end up here?
Well, I've been a reseller forever, right? That's kind of what my YouTube channel was based around. I was selling on eBay. I learned it from my dad. I remember being in middle school, helping my dad carry packages to the post office. Like, it goes way back. And so I learned reselling from my dad. And as I got older, I was just kind of flipping stuff online. And I would go with my dad to a bin store in Olathe, Kansas. It's changed names a few times now, but I was always so intrigued with the idea of a bin store. And I remember actually sitting in the car with my dad. We had our number for our place in line. And I remember my dad looking at me and saying to himself, someone who has a store like this probably makes a lot of money.
Off people like you.
Yeah.
Off the
and
resellers.
It stuck with me because I'm like, you know, God, it's such an awesome concept because people can shop for their homes, they can shop for their reselling business, and that's exactly why we were there.
Yeah.
We were there because we were gonna flip stuff online, and the opportunity presented itself, and I decided I was ready to move out of my basement and out of my garage, and I figured the opportunity's there, why not just get a storefront? There was no bin stores in the area, so I figured, why not me?
Okay, but why a bin store? You could have done so many other things, I guess. Why a bin store?
All you do is throw it in the bins and let people shop.
That's not what this is. This is hard stuff. Bin stores are hard. Stop it. Just false information right here. Bin stores are hard. You don't just dump stuff.
It's true. It's a lot harder than it seems to be, but the concept, it was a lot more attractive to me than just having any liquidation store. Like, there's liquidation stores everywhere, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But bin stores allow people to get really good deals, like really, really good deals. And that's kind of been something that's always fueled me. That's the kind of person I am. I love giving someone a good deal. I would basically do bin stores out of my garage. And I really liked being able to give people those really good prices that only a bin store can do. And, you know, when I was living about 2 hours away from here, people would tell me all the time that they were grateful that I would open up my garage and let them get necessities for $1, $2, $3. And so I just really wanted to do it on a bigger scale. I felt like this would serve not only my reselling bug, because like I love flipping. It was the one way that I could really satisfy that flip with still being able to make money and serving people.
Sure.
So I figured this would be the best thing for me.
That's awesome. I mean, so you said 2 hours away. Do you still live 2 hours away from your store?
No.
Okay.
I had lived about 2 hours north in Kansas, and I ended up moving back here about 2 years ago just to be closer to family. And that's kind of how the opportunity presented itself, because there was really no opportunity for that where I was living before. And then I moved down here, and I actually would drive by this store when I went to high school.
When it was empty?
When it was actually a fashion bug.
Okay.
And I would drive by here all the time, and then I saw that it was available for rent, and I was like, that'd be kind of a
cool really? So you didn't like hire like a real estate agent to search for anything?
Nope, I just knew it was available, and the landlord took a chance on me, so.
And would you go back? Would you do it again?
Absolutely.
So you're saying you love it?
100%.
So you love it?
Yep, I love it.
That's
Absolutely
awesome.
love it.
That's why we're here today, because we love bin stores. This is probably my 35th bin store I'm visiting. Third on camera, so sorry, YouTube. You didn't get to see all of them. But it looks good. It looks clean. It looks awesome. If you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about the setup? What went into, you know, the layout? How'd you set it up? Why? And
so being a reseller and shopping at bin stores, I knew what I wanted as a shopper.
Sure.
The one thing I did not like about other bin stores that I had visited was the sheer chaos. There was really no organization at all. Everything was just mixed in. And so I knew right away that one of the things I wanted to be able to do was have as much separation as possible in a bin store. Now it's pretty difficult, obviously, because everything is mixed in whenever you get the inventory in. But, we try our hardest to have things separated. We have all of our health and beauty separated. We have our clothing separated. We have things like face masks, books. We have a shelf for breakables. And that is the kind of store that I would want to shop at. I also would want to shop at a store with a low enough price point. I've seen these bin stores.
Yeah,
that
they
are
get expensive.
$7, $8, $10,
That's fine.
$20.
That's
There's bin stores that are $20
they
now.
are.
And I'm over here like, I wouldn't want to shop there.
Yeah, because it's no longer a
Yep,
deal,
so
right?
I'm like, I want to keep it a low price point. I want to serve the community and make money.
That's great
So
reason.
I basically made a bin store I'd want to shop at.
That's awesome. Was that the Oklahoma store? Was that the only bin store you ever been at before?
No, I visited a few in the Kansas City area. I visited some in Tulsa, and then I watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Plug, subscribe for both of our channels. All right, yeah, so let's take the tour. It's a pretty big space. How big is it?
So the landlord tells me it's 8,000 square feet, but I'm not sure if that's just floor space or if that includes the bathrooms
Gotta
and the
get the
break
measuring
room.
tape out.
Yeah, I know. So I'm thinking that the shopping space is probably around 5,000 square feet, and then the rest we have for storage and inventory and break room.
Okay.
And bathrooms.
So 8,000 square feet. Would you say that's enough? Would you go bigger, smaller, medium?
I'd probably go bigger, knowing what I know now, because we have a lot of customers, being really the only bin store in the area. And it's the idea of people are just a little bit too close to the fellow shoppers.
Okay.
And so
It's
I
a
would
little
want to
crowded.
have, I would probably want to have more room, probably the same amount of tables, just more room so that people aren't having to fight so closely together.
Definitely. How many shoppers would you say you get, like on your first day?
The first day, we've counted anywhere from 110 to 130 people in line on average.
Wow.
We usually manage that for about the first hour. The first hour of the store, it's pretty busy, but we kind of do something a little bit different that I haven't seen any other bin stores do.
Which is?
Do
you want to reveal the secret sauce? Maybe not. YouTube,
I don't know.
It might be cut out at that point.
Like I said, I wanted to have a bin store that I would want to shop at. And another annoyance that I had with other bin stores was either you got there right away to get the good stuff, or you had to come back after they were closed for an hour, and then you had to be one of the first ones in the door.
For like the second restock.
For the second restock.
Do you guys
of the day.
restock?
We do.
Nice.
And that is what we do that I think makes people a little bit happier throughout the day. We actually stock as the bins get lower.
Really? That's
So-
interesting, because this is a lot of bins to fill up again.
As
So
well,
how does that even work?
well, we use our best judgment.
Do you guys close the doors or no?
Nope.
So it's everybody's in here and people are shopping,
Yep.
and in the middle of the day,
Yep.
do you have a specific time? Do you
Nope.
have just whenever they get low, you roll out?
It's the whole concept of I don't want people to think that they have to time it, or if they're not here at 10 o'clock or they're not here at 2 o'clock, they're going to miss out, because you could be here at 5 o'clock one day and we dump boxes
awesome.
of good merchandise right in front of you just because that bin is low.
That's definitely different. So I gotta ask, because I've restocked when the people are out and customers are shopping. Any crazy battle stories where like somebody's restocking the bin and the customer's jumping in and they're diving on top of them and fighting for the inventory? You know what I'm talking about.
I know
Does
exactly
it get a
what
little
you're talking
crazy
about.
while you're restocking?
Well, with the employees, it doesn't really get so crazy. Most of the time, the shoppers are pretty respectful of the employees trying to dump inventory, but there have been some arguments between shoppers before. One instance in particular that I can think of was it was literally me. I had just dumped a bin full of brand new merchandise in one of the bins, and a lady immediately lays herself over all of the inventory.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
She laid across everything. And another shopper pulled something out from underneath her.
Oh, that
But
didn't
see,
stop them, huh?
this just goes to show how wise some of my shoppers are, because she starts kind of getting upset with him because she says, "That was mine." That was mine.
She's on
And
top
he
of
just
it.
looked at her and he says, "If you could tell me what it was, you can have it."
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. That's interesting.
And do you think she could tell him what it was?
No chance.
Nope. So he kept it.
It's a bin store.
It was a travel cooler, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, so he kept it. He's like, just tell me what it was and you can have it back. She says, because it was mine. And he says, tell me what it was. But that's probably the most extreme. Usually people are pretty respectful of each other, and that I can really, really appreciate because I know how cutthroat it can be trying to get.
Does it get cutthroat in the line when people are waiting, when they're getting in?
Luckily, we haven't had too many instances. There was an occasion.
Not encouraging them.
No, not
Keep it easy, people.
But there was an instance where there was a lady that did try to cut in line. And she was convinced that she had the right to cut in line because there was no sign up that said that she couldn't.
Okay.
And that turned into a pretty big scene because on that day in particular was because it was a day where it was snowing.
Okay.
And people had been waiting in line for over an hour.
Freezing.
So there was people standing in line for over an hour, and she tried to cut in line, and they weren't going to have that.
That's good. That's good. I usually let the customers kind of handle those type of situations.
Yeah, and that's
so guys, figure this out.
The only reason I even got involved was because they started frantically knocking on the window to get my attention. So it was something that I had handled, but beyond that, there hasn't really been any problems. And I'm fortunate enough to also have a friend who is a police officer.
Okay.
And he will often drive by. He'll make loops.
It's not a bad friend to have.
Yes. He will often drive by and watch everyone in line, so they are all very aware that the police are watching them stand in line.
On call. So great question that a lot of people have is, do you do line numbers?
No.
It's a big debate between bin store owners, between store owners. Do you guys do line numbers? No. Do you let people put a chair down to save their spot? Things of that nature?
So we do let people put chairs down. I figured that we would allow people to do that until there was too many complaints, but not one person.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Hey, we're on 2 years.
No
Still
one
no
has
complaints.
complained.
We're good.
No one has complained about it yet. I have considered doing numbers though, just because I know that not everybody can get here 2 hours before we open, because that's about when the line starts. And I do know that even though we have the privilege of stocking throughout the day, I am also very aware that if you're not one of the first people in the door, you're probably not going to get a lot of good stuff. Like there might be a circumstance where you could just happen to be at a bin that's low and we happen to dump something and there happens to be a tablet in there.
Yeah.
But that's all based on luck. If you are one of the first people in here, your chances are a lot better.
Increase, sure.
So I do want to reward those people that are here 2 hours early. But then at the same time, I don't want to penalize people that can't be here 2 hours early.
Makes sense.
So I've contemplated doing something like that, but I think what I might end up doing is some sort of a VIP pass or something. I think I want to try a way to almost combine the two.
Okay.
Where people at the front of the line are there and they get the benefit of coming in early, but then there's also a separate line of people that maybe win a pass or...
Yeah, do you guys do skip the line passes? That was kind of my next question.
We don't. I've seen that you do, though. So I might want to...
It's good free marketing. Because, you do a skip the line pass, you put, you let's say you do a sneak peek post. I know you guys do the same thing, but you guys do a sneak peek post and then we'll do like a like and share. You can win a skip the line pass or tag 3 friends. Engagement goes up on the photos.
Yeah.
And then that 1 or 2, 3 lucky people, very happy.
And that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about because I wanted to know how that works because I would like to do something like that because I do have some people that can maybe only get here right at 10 o'clock. And it'd be awesome if they were one that could win something like that because they're still here when we open. They just can't be here 2 hours before we open.
Yeah. When we do skip the line passes, we just try to keep it minimal. So, we were at the point where we were giving out 5 or 6 and it's like people were upset and I was like, wait, I totally understand why you're upset. Why are we doing it this way? This is dumb because we just let 10 people in front of you. Right. So that's where the VIP program kind of scares me because then it's like, well, what happens if you have 40 VIPs? Like everybody's getting in at 10, so who gets the first door? Or
you could have 2 lines.
Yeah.
Walk in at the same time.
You can.
We should
what
talk
POS
about that
systems
later.
do you guys use? That's a good question, actually.
Oh.
People like that one. You just switched, didn't you?
I did just switch.
That's a great topic.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was using Square, which Square is great. There's nothing against Square. but Square charges processing fees to us, right?
Definitely, which adds up quick.
Yeah.
3.5%, right? That's Square's?
Something like that. It's like 2.67 maybe, plus 10 cents every time.
Yeah, it adds up. She's selling things for cheap.
Yeah, it adds up very, very quickly. But I just recently started with a new system called CurePay.
Okay.
I just started that system, and it's a game changer.
All right, then it's a game changer.
It's a game changer. I was actually probably going to bring it up a little bit more in the future when I've had more experience with it, but it is a system where you can use, like, we can still use our Square registers. We just use CurePay for our payment processing, but we're waiting on our CurePay registers right now.
Okay.
And guess how much we pay in fees?
I'm assuming zero. Nice. That's crazy.
CurePay charges all processing fees directly to the customer.
Okay,
so it's this whole idea of, instead of the business taking on credit card fees, the customer, if they want to use their card, they pay the fee.
Wow. Okay, so you kind of just pass on the fee to the customer, and it's completely up to them.
And we offer a cash discount, essentially.
Yeah.
So if they pay cash, they get a little bit off.
We talked about this because this is a pretty good way to get around some laws, I would say, because a lot of states have different laws with card processing, with cash discounts, offering weird little trinkety discounts like that.
It's
like a gray area, surcharge, service charge, so some states allow it, some states don't. So take this with a grain of salt. Do your research, guys.
Yes, definitely by location.
Definitely by location.
With your state laws, all of that kind of stuff. But it has been a game changer, I know, for the store, because it has allowed me to not have to raise my prices. And I'm sure prices have gone up.
Yeah, so I mean, prices, we haven't even talked about that. We're at a bin store and we don't even know what your pricing structure is.
We haven't even talked about
so
prices.
I see today's prices per item, per bag, health and beauty, clothing and shoes, and everything else is $5. Do those little $5s change?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Those are interchangeable numbers. That's actually one of the things that I wanted to have that I had custom made.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So if there is, let's say, a health and beauty item that I don't want to wait until Dollar Day for.
Oh, this is cool, because you can, I see what's going on here.
You can pull these off, and we have
different days can be, oh wow, this is really cool.
So let's say we get an entire truckload that's almost all clothing, and we need to blow clothing out.
Yeah.
We can say clothing is $2,
this is
regardless
really
of the day. So we can just say, change them every single day. So if we have a bunch of something that we need to blow out, like in the clothing category or the health and beauty category, we can just simply deduct whatever price we need to, and that's the price of the day. So most of the time, though, we will have everything be the same price. We actually just recently started doing our health and beauty the same price as everything else, honestly, because of the confusion it was causing. There was some instances at the register where people would argue that something was health and beauty when it clearly wasn't. Like, they would say that
is a tough line. I've been there.
A hair dryer was health and beauty, and I'm saying, no, it's an electronic device. It is not health and beauty. Health and beauty is things like cosmetics and personal care and hair accessories, things like that. So we just started saying, you know what, because most of the health and beauty stuff that we have, $5 is a good deal for it. And not only that, but our prices are $5 for one day. Starts at 5. So we're actually open 3 days a week now.
Which is crazy.
I know.
That is another thing that is completely different. That is probably the shortest schedule I've seen
so we are a weekend only business now. We are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday is $5, Saturday is 2 for $5, and Sunday is Dollar Day.
Wow, that's cheap.
And those are our prices. And then we have the rest of the week to do things like clear out the bins, get truckloads in, process new pallets, list on eBay, things like that.
Makes sense. Wow, 3-day schedule, that's completely different. Location-wise, you got this building leased out. It's 8,000 square feet. What would you do different? What would you keep? What would you do again?
So the first thing that I would change, I know that you feel my pain on it. There's no loading dock.
Yes, that's definitely a pain.
We actually,
it is the biggest
so not only do we only have a stacker and no loading dock, we have to unload the trucks directly on the sidewalk and
the front.
bring them through the front doors.
So it probably helps you have a 3-day schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Because then our parking lot can be completely empty. If a truck takes an extra day to get here, it's no big deal because we don't have the store open. Like I know if you're open 6 days, if you can only do something on one day and then suddenly it can't happen, then that completely throws
100%.
you off because you have one day where the store's not open.
This is a great solution for people that don't have loading docks, the 3-day schedule or a 4-day schedule.
It gives us a lot of leeway.
Sure.
If something goes awry, we have multiple days where we're closed, so it's not a big concern. But that's probably the one big thing is I wish we had a loading dock. I feel like I did a pretty good job with location. We're right next door to a Walmart.
Right next to a highway.
Right next to the highway. A lot of people.
Cars.
I've had a lot of people tell me that being next to Walmart was a bad idea. Like, why would you be next door to a Walmart? What's your line of thinking there? They're just going to go to Walmart. And my whole line of thinking is, you have to pass me to get to Walmart.
Yeah.
You're going to stop here first.
Yeah, and especially for health and beauty, things like
Health and
you're getting
beauty,
some shampoo.
People, and if I can get some pallets of laundry, I have people that will come buy all of their laundry stuff here. They'll buy all their health and beauty stuff here. They'll shop the bins. They might find random things like scrub daddies or
for a quarter
cleaner.
of the price, if not less.
And so they'll stop here first. They'll do their shopping, and then they'll continue on to Walmart.
And everybody does most of their grocery shopping on the weekends where you're open.
Exactly.
No, that's awesome. That's a good plan.
Yep.
So is that your favorite part? I was going to ask you, what is your favorite part about your location?
Well, my favorite part about the location is probably the fact that we're next door to Walmart, so we have a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah.
But then also it's really close to my house. I don't have to drive very far. That was one of the best parts of working outside of my house was I didn't have to go anywhere. It was just go down to my basement. But now I don't have to drive 30 minutes to get to the store. I live in the same small town, so that's
Makes
my
sense.
other, I guess, favorite part of the location.
So I have a open-ended question here. This has been a debate in the bin store world.
Okay.
Would you consider a bin store a destination location? So for all the people that are looking for locations, would it be a good idea to have a store off the beaten path and cheaper rent, or a little bit higher rent and foot traffic?
Depends on how good you are at marketing.
I was not expecting that. Damn.
Like, for instance, because I'm right on the road that people have to drive. I mean, you could see these cars right here driving by. They have to drive by the store to get to Walmart. So I could completely suck at marketing, but people are still going to notice I'm here with enough signage, wacky wailing, inflatable
Do you have an
arms.
inflatable guy?
I almost bought one.
Me too.
I almost bought, but I was worried.
Like, ooh, $400. Ooh.
I was worried someone would steal it.
Yes, that's literally. I was like, it's gonna rain, and so I'm gonna forget about it. It's
So word of mouth is very powerful. Like, we've had lots of people come in and say, my friend told me about this place, or, we'll post on Facebook and someone will tag a friend and say, this is the place I was telling you about. So those little things kind of tell me that word of mouth is really powerful. I mean, we've all heard word of mouth matters, but it really matters. So if you're not very good at marketing, if you're off the beaten path, how are people supposed to find you?
And usually what I've noticed is when people get a good deal, let's say like those roller skates, if they get their kid roller skates for $5, they're gonna tell all their friends, like, hey, I know your kid needs roller skates. I got mine for $5. Like, this is where you need to go, right? Like, there's no reason for them not to do that.
Exactly.
That's awesome. But marketing, you've started talking about it. It's your marketing strategy. What do you usually do? I love the branding. I really do. It's nice. It's clean. You got a bunch of signs. It's all well put together. The color's there. So you got some marketing skills, right? What do you do? What's your strategy?
It's all an accident.
This is all she's been telling us, like, this whole time we've been here.
It's all an accident.
I just got lucky.
Literally. Okay, no, this is a real story. I did not make this up. My sister-in-law and I were standing at Lowe's to get paint, to paint the store, because this was an abandoned fashion store, basically, right? And all of the wallpaper is falling off the walls. We knew that we needed to pull down all the wallpaper and paint, which I'd also like to add that we did it when it was 95 degrees in the building because our air conditioners were broken. We knew we needed to paint. We had no idea what our colors were. No idea. We were just looking at paint swatches at Lowe's.
And just something,
So you know how we came up with this color? We Googled what color makes people buy more?
No way. Nice. I mean, that's
Literally
a strategy.
Googled,
That's not
literally Googled what color makes people buy more. I did not want a cheesy red. I'm like, I do not want.
So red makes people buy more. Wow.
Makes people impulse buy.
I definitely see
And
that.
then we kind of joked around about, well, maybe that's why Target's main colors are red.
But people do buy a lot of stuff.
And then that's also how we named the store.
Bullseye Bins.
Bullseye Bins.
That's
because
good.
we're like, well, if we're going to go with red, and then we threw blue in there because of Walmart.
Make
red
a
and
little
blue.
connection to your neighbor. Nice, nice.
And so we ended up coming, because this was the prettiest red in my opinion. It wasn't like, it wasn't in your face red. It was
it's
more
toned
of
down for sure.
a pretty deep red. It's called hibiscus tea. I even remember what it was called.
Ours is sunset orange.
Hibiscus.
So.
Hibiscus.
I remember the name too. You're just driving to Home Depot back and forth 10 times a week because I don't know how many paint buckets we need. Right. You learned the name.
So, yep, and that's the story of how we came up with that and the marketing. So that takes care of the color for the marketing. It's just for impulse buy.
Do you guys do Facebook? Do you guys
We
do
just
flyers?
do Facebook. We just share to a lot of Facebook groups. That's really it. We started a Facebook page. We post. I put my gorgeous sister-in-law on the Facebook page. She always gets a lot of clicks. and then we just shared to the local pages. We have Chatter page where everybody just kind of shares what's going on with our local community. We got a lot of buzz because there was nothing like this around here, and everybody is interested in a bargain.
Any more competitors around here since that time? Or are you the only one still?
There are a couple of little ones that are around, nothing the size of mine that I know of. I actually have a liquidation, well, I say it's not mine, but there was a liquidation store that just opened up a couple of days ago or weeks ago, literally right over there.
Oh, wow.
But it's not a bin store, it's just a liquidation store. Actually, I've had a lot of people tell me that they think that they just shop from me and go put it in their store over there. I mean, if they do, I respect the hustle. I mean, come on now. But there's a couple of other little places, within about a 20, 30, 40-minute drive. There's a really big one in McPherson, which is about, I don't know, maybe an hour away. Other than that, it's just me.
That's great.
It's just me. And I like to think that we kind of all do it a little bit differently. So if you don't like their store, maybe you'll like mine. If you don't like mine, maybe you'll like theirs. I think competition can be a good thing.
I can't stress that enough. I think it really is healthy. It keeps you on your toes.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sure that you have the good inventory, and it keeps you on your toes, right?
Yep.
Always ready, always having good deals.
Yep.
And the bin store concept is new, right? So people have to get educated. So if you have somebody else teaching them how bins work.
That has been a major challenge for us to overcome.
Customer education.
People don't understand what a bin store is.
Yes.
And I think that's
why we do these videos.
Oh my goodness. That's probably one of the biggest challenges that I've had is educating my customers because they don't have any idea. You see these big price boards.
Yeah.
People still don't notice them or understand what they mean. I'll have people think that because they came in here one time and everything was $1, that they'll come in on $5 day and it's all still $1. And then they'll get frustrated at checkout when they find out it's not. And we try to explain to them, we have banners that say it's $5. We have big price boards that say it's $5. I don't know how to make it more clear that it's $5. You came in on dollar day. That doesn't mean that it's always $1, and people just don't understand. And I think that that's probably one of the downsides to being the first of this size is that it's just so new to people.
It's new. It's
they just
different.
don't know.
There is no
They just
stores
don't
like
know.
this, right? Like even Marshalls and TJ Maxx, I would say that's like the comparison that people would broadly understand.
But even then, it's not even close.
It's priced out. Everything's priced out in there, right?
Yep.
Do you guys ever get a question on Dollar Day about where's the laptop I saw on Facebook for $1?
Actually, no.
No? Oh, wow. Get ready. You'll get it.
I'll get Facebook messages where they'll ask, how much is the Tide Pods? And I'll say that was gone 4 days ago. But no, we haven't had anybody come in saying, I'm looking for this. They might come in later that day and say, oh, I saw this tablet in the bins and the photo. Is that still here?
What do you usually tell them?
Well, we usually tell them something along the lines of, we don't know if it's still here. There's a chance, but there's no guarantees.
Yeah.
If we do, it'll be somewhere out there.
Lindey, we're getting towards the end here. This beautiful tour, this beautiful store. Tell us where you're located. Where can people find you?
So I'm in Derby, Kansas. Address is 1906 Johnson Drive. We're right next door to Walmart, just off of K15.
There you go. You heard it here, people. Come shop at Bullseye Bins. Lindey, thank you so much for coming on to our channel.
I appreciate you
giving us a
coming
tour.
to visit.
Yeah, definitely. Never been to Kansas, but guys, we gotta run. But before we do, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. And then go check out Lindey's YouTube too, because you'll learn a thing or two for sure. So anything else to add before we end this tour?
Running a bin store is really hard.